Enemies to the east. Enemies to the south, and Arya Sand and her brood of bitches. Enemies to the west. Olenna, the old cunt. Another traitor. Enemies to the north. Ned Stark's bastard has been named king in the north, and that murdering whore Sansa stands beside him. Enemies everywhere. We're surrounded by traitors.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 8 discussion video. I want to do something a little different today. I don't want to present some complicated theory or tinfoil prediction that I might have or anything like that. The purpose of today's video is to open up a discussion about Cersei Lannister and her chances of making it out of this series alive. How Cersei's story ends is a very popular topic, and I certainly have my own ideas for what I think will happen to her. But I want to know what all of you think about this. From what I have seen, it seems like almost everyone assumes Cersei will die in the end, but I am wondering how many people actually believe she can survive the wars to come. I only communicate with the Game of Thrones community through Twitter and YouTube, and since this platform reaches more people than my Twitter account, I figure this is the best place to ask this question other than just posting a poll. I have seen a ton of different theories that provide evidence for Cersei's death, but I haven't seen too many that say she will survive the entire series. According to Jaime Lannister, Cersei is going to be screwed no matter what.
While they battle in the north, we take back the lands that belong to us.
And then what?
And then we rule.
When the fighting in the north is over, someone wins. You understand that, don't you? If the dead win, they march south and kill us all. If the living win, and we've betrayed them, they march south and kill us all.
Jaime said that if the dead win, they will come south and kill us all. And if Jon and Daenerys win, they will come south and kill us all too. So it seems like there is no way out. Unless Cersei decided to help them beat the Night King, which we all know as of right now, Cersei has no intentions of doing this. And she seems very confident that she can still win no matter what the numbers she is up against. You gotta give it to her. Cersei's knees do not bend easily. At this point, the Lannister army has to be fairly small in comparison to the earlier seasons. We haven't heard their exact numbers in a while, and it's not exactly clear how many died during the Field of Fire, but Jaime is their commander, and he knows they are no match for the Dothraki, let alone the Unsullied, the North, and the Dragons. Cersei does have a fleet with a good amount of Ironborn men, but they are really only good when fighting at sea. They aren't built to fight on the land. That's not what they do. Now, Cersei is hiring 20,000 men from the Golden Company, but is that going to be enough? Why does she seem so confident unless she knows something that hasn't been revealed yet? 20,000 men from the Golden Company is nothing to laugh at, but Daenerys has more than that with just her Dothraki numbers alone. And they were just getting warmed up when they ambushed the Lannister and Tarly soldiers. Even if the Golden Company do manage to make it to Westeros, which I think they will, many people believe they will break their contract with Cersei by joining forces with the Targaryens. That's obviously not a guarantee, but it's definitely worth considering, and Euron Greyjoy is still a wild card too. How long will Euron continue to support Cersei if he knows he is aboard a sinking ship? Tycho Nestoris from the Iron Bank may have already foreshadowed a betrayal coming from Euron.
The war's already begun. I've drawn first blood. I decapitated the Dornish snake. My armada owns the Narrow Sea.
Euron Greyjoy's armada owns the Narrow Sea.
Euron Greyjoy is loyal to me.
For now.
Cersei has already lost her father, she lost all of her children, she lost both brothers, and one of those brothers was her lover and the commander of her army. What options would she have left if Euron cut ties and the Golden Company broke their contract with her? She may be more likely to lose the Golden Company than she is Euron right now, because now that Jaime has left, Euron might seize this as an opportunity to get even closer to Cersei now that no one will be in his way. I know the Mountain will always protect her, but you know what I mean. He will no longer have a jealous lover standing in between them. What makes this topic so interesting is all the different scenarios that could possibly take place. As of right now, it seems like Cersei is screwed. Not only does Daenerys have the dragons, but she also has the numbers. But this was also true going into Season 7. Remember that epic scene of Daenerys coming across the sea with her full force? She had a massive army and fleet behind her at that time, yet Cersei still sits on the Iron Throne at the end of Season 7. That didn't seem possible when Daenerys set sail for Westeros. But Cersei hasn't budged. Not only does Cersei still sit on the Iron Throne, but Daenerys lost the Martells, she lost the Tyrells, she lost the Greyjoys, and she lost a dragon. All the while Cersei continues to grow even more confident, even in the face of death. Since the Night King is already in the north, the logical thing for Jon and Daenerys to do is face the Night King first. He is the bigger threat, he has a bigger army, a dragon, and the longer he's in the north gives him more time to raise any dead he comes across. Plus, Jon's entire family is at Winterfell right now, in the Night King's path of death and destruction. Jon, Daenerys, and their full force are already heading north to deal with this threat. But there is something we definitely have to consider. What if Daenerys loses both of her dragons in the war against the Night King? What if all of her Dothraki and Unsullied are slaughtered in the northern terrain, in a climate they have never had time to adjust to, or learn to fight in? I'm not saying the Night King will win, but he can certainly do a hell of a lot of damage to Dany and Jon's numbers, and that would even the odds for Cersei once again. Cersei also knows that Dany's dragons can be killed. Cersei might not have any dragons, but she might be able to kill them if they come south again, and that's assuming the Night King doesn't kill any more first. Cersei also may have a weapon that burns almost as hot as dragonfire. How much wildfire is left is still unknown, but I would like to think there is still some more. Or at the very least, Qyburn could be having people work day and night to resupply them with caches of this fiery substance. But even with all that being said, there is another thing to keep in mind. We can't forget about Daenerys and Bran's vision of the throne room. This vision could be easily forgettable if only one person saw this in a vision. But Bran and Daenerys both saw this, so it has to be very important in terms of the endgame. There will be at least one dragon flying over King's Landing, and the city will burn. But does that mean Cersei dies? Does anyone think she can make it out of this series alive? We have seen Jon Snow in King's Landing. Is it possible that Jon Snow allows Cersei to live? Do you think Jon would be willing to kill Cersei if she said she was pregnant? Probably not, although I think she's going to have a miscarriage anyway. There are also a number of different Valonqar theories out there, and all of those basically state that Cersei will die whether she wins or loses any more battles. Some say Jaime is the Valonqar, although he only has one hand, and some say Tyrion is the Valonqar. In the books, Cersei firmly believes that Tyrion would be the one to kill her. But there is also a great theory about Euron Greyjoy being the Valonqar. The only problem is, in the television show, they did leave the Valonqar prophecy out when Cersei visited Maggie the Frog. But did they leave it out because it would be too obvious Cersei was destined to die before the series was over? It seemed like they could have been giving a nod to this theory when they showed Jaime and Cersei standing on the big map of Westeros that was painted on the floor. But there is also a chance that it was just a weird coincidence. We also can't forget that Cersei is still on Arya Stark's hit list. With Arya's training, she could easily slip behind enemy lines and kill Cersei, especially when she can wear just about anyone's face. This is what I love about this story and show so much. When you try to predict something, you have to consider all these different variables that can affect the outcome of any given storyline at any given time. I have never seen another show that had so many different moving pieces that can result in so many different endings. It's actually fascinating, and it's what makes these discussions so much fun. There are more than enough things to point out that stack up against Cersei and her odds of surviving the Game of Thrones, but how many of you out there actually think she can still be alive at the end of all this? Could her survival be a part of the bittersweet ending? If there are any X factors I left out of this video, please put it down below because I want to take all things into consideration. Also, how many of you are of the belief that Cersei will end up as the Night's Queen in the end? I know I have heard that once or twice, but I don't think that too many people believe that will happen. But this theory certainly picked up some steam after that Season 7 promo was released. Anyways, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I just wanted to open up this discussion to see what everyone thought about this specific topic. Put all your thoughts, questions, opinions down below in the comments section. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their day to watch the video. I always appreciate that. And I also want to thank my Patreon supporters. I will be doing your Q&A video next. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.